Hey guys, today we have a one topic video where we talk about one topic of stuff happening on the internet because I think this is just like one of those situations where you have to explain it from beginning to end and it's just gross. It's a situation that just needs its own video. It's just, yeah, that's that. My social media will be in the description along with anything else you might need to find, like my beauty channel, links, anything like that. Subscribe, hit that bell, like, comment for engagement. You'll get more videos like this and you won't miss out on anything. Also, make sure you still are subscribed. If you believe that you subscribed at one point in time and you didn't unsubscribe, scroll down, make sure you're subscribed. All good things. Let's get into the video. So I don't really know how to pronounce their surname. It's really irrelevant to this story. It's Nikki Phillippi? I've heard people pronounce it different ways, and Dan, her husband. They're both YouTubers. They make kind of vlog, family type content. They're a very, I believe, religious family. It's very much, you know, wholesome stuff. There was, I believe, vlogs pre her getting pregnant because she thought she couldn't get pregnant and she did get pregnant, which is obviously a miracle. And yeah, it was just good, wholesome stuff. Everyone was just happy for them. Typical vlogging family, vlogging their mornings, evenings. They have two dogs. Had two dogs. One of them is a Yorkie, like a York, what's that called? Like the full name, people just call them Yorkies, right? Just a tiny one. And then they also had a bull, American bull, this great doggy. I'm not really great at remembering all the different variations of pit bulls and bulldog type dogs. It's all just very confusing to me, but it's this little cutie. Very funny dog. Now, the situation is, they had this dog for almost 10 years. I believe the husband got the dog and it was his puppy, and then obviously they got together and that then also became her puppy. There were some issues during puppyhood. For example, the puppy got bitten by another dog, so that's obviously a traumatic experience. He was then a lot more reserved with other dogs, a lot more shy around other dogs, and if he felt threatened, he was obviously going to try and attack, which he did on multiple occasions. He tried to attack other dogs because he felt uncomfortable the way you would if you were bitten by a dog. Now, for example, Phoebe had a really bad experience. Phoebe's my puppy, just in case you're new around here. She's sleeping right next to me. I'm not gonna pick her up because she's sleeping. She had a situation where we took her to a dog park and she got really overwhelmed and she jumped up into my arms, and then since then we've struggled to socialize her with other dogs because she's just terrified of them because they were just too playful with her. They all just wanted to play with her. She was a tiny puppy and she's now a little bit scared of dogs. We're trying to work through that. It's taking us, I don't know, 3 months of consistent trying to get her to walk up to other dogs, giving her treats while she's around other dogs, doing the whole thing. It's like, it's a commitment, right? Every single walk we have, it'll be like an hour and a half-ish walk. And whenever we see a dog, we bring out the treats and we're like, hey, there's another dog. Here's a treat. Good association. We haven't had any accidents, anything like that. She just gets a little bit, you know, barky and a little bit jumpy. But then recently we had some really good interactions, so I think she's making some progress. Now, instead of doing all of that, they decided to just ignore the problem. They just decided the problem didn't exist. The dog was not bitten. No problem exists. And then they blamed the dog for attacking other dogs when they were the ones that didn't resolve a situation that had occurred that would have prevented the dog from biting and attacking other dogs. So they just messed up as owners. They could have just taken the dog to a trainer. They could have figured it out. I know Lauren DIY filmed a video on this because she has the exact same breed of dog, which I recommend watching her video from the perspective of someone who owns that breed. And she said she had issues with food aggression and aggression around treats, which she Googled how to fix it and she resolved it within a few months, kind of like what we're doing with Phoebe when it comes to fear around other dogs. We're trying to resolve it. It's taking us a few months, but we're going to get there because she's already a lot more friendly with dogs, so we can see the progress. And I think by like when she turns 1, maybe by then I feel like we've got it down and sorted. I'll keep you guys updated. So she fixed her dog's food aggression and she resolved it like any responsible owner would, so that she can avoid a situation where the dog attacks around food, right? Like you want to obviously avoid that. They just didn't. They didn't take the dog to a trainer. They didn't train the dog themselves. They didn't try to Google how to fix the problem. They just acknowledged that the problem exists and then left it, expecting it to go away on its own, just magically poof, go away, fly away. Then they have a son, right, who is quite clearly not educated on how to be around dogs, and that's also not his problem. That's not his fault. His parents are responsible for teaching him how to socialize with dogs and how to treat animals in a respectful manner, and they just didn't do that. And it infuriates me when I go on TikTok mainly and there are parents filming their kids annoying dogs, mainly when it's a bigger dog, because yes, a small dog can also bite. Bigger dogs are not inherently more aggressive than smaller dogs. However, if you piss off a Yorkie and you piss off a Rottweiler and they both bite you, like realistically, which one's going to cause more harm? Unintentionally or intentionally, which one's going to cause more harm? The Rottweiler, because it's a bigger breed. It's a bigger dog, bigger jaw, bigger teeth. It's going to cause a bigger issue. And it really bothers me, one, when parents are irresponsible with their kids and let them drag, pull, push, tap, poke, dogs in ways that the dog doesn't feel comfortable with, and you can see that they're just asking for an accident. And two, I hate when people treat little dogs as if they are brainless specimens that can't learn, that can't do commands, tricks, that can't behave well. And that's why you see so many little dogs misbehaving in the park, because people just treat them like toys and they don't think that they should socialize the dog or teach the dog anything. They just treat it as if it's a puppet that they can throw around. Because, oh, well, if he bites you, it doesn't hurt. Yeah, but a dog shouldn't bite regardless of size. Like, regardless of size, your dog shouldn't be biting people. Just a thought, just an idea. Anyway, so that's my two little pet peeves with dogs. Not little pet peeves, huge pet peeves with dogs, is people not teaching their children how to behave around dogs. And then when it ends in an accident, who is blamed? Not the parents, not the child, the dog. Every single time, hands down, the dog is blamed for something that is not its fault. So what happened here? They have a child who decided to, I'm assuming there were more situations before this that they just didn't mention, because a child doesn't just do this once. If you don't correct their behavior, they're going to keep on doing it. So I'm assuming this happened multiple times. He grabbed the dog by the ear, squeezed it really hard to the point where it got like swollen, and they described it, they even put pictures up if you wanted to see it. They described it the way, you know how boxers or wrestlers, they have those like cauliflower ears is what they call it. It's like really swollen ears, and they're pretty much permanently swollen. Yeah, that's what the dog's ear looked like. That's how hard this child squeezed its ear. And at that point, the dog didn't react, even though I wouldn't blame it if it did. Like, I don't want the kid to be bitten, of course, but like the patience the dog had at that point is admirable, all things considered. And then the child, on a different occasion, decided to take food away from him mid-eating, which, yes, a dog shouldn't have aggression around food, but when the dog is already being taunted by this child and this child then takes its food away mid-meal, I mean, the patience is going to be running dry at that point. And once again, I'm not saying the child should have been bitten. This could have all been avoided, but all things considered, is the dog truly to blame for all of this? No. There were multiple situations where they could have fixed this dog's behavior, and they just chose not to, because it's easier to ignore the problem than to acknowledge that it's there and try to do something to change it. So what did they do? You might be asking me, what did they do? They put the dog down. Yeah, they put the dog down. Aggression towards other dogs, dog bitten by other dog, exhibits aggression towards other dogs. Not taken to a trainer to fix. Child taunts dog, probably on a daily basis. They do nothing to fix this, aka discipline their child to have respect for a living specimen. Instead, when the dog reacts and slightly bites the child in the face, and they said it was a small mark, because I feel like I forgot to mention this, the dog bit the face of the child when the child took the meal away. And apparently it was a very small mark, like barely visible, and it went away within seconds. The same can't be said for this dog's poor ear, which apparently was there for like a month. So the dog bit, understandably so. So they said to put the dog down. Once again, they had multiple situations where they could have corrected this child's behavior so that this could all be avoided. They could have had a lovely relationship, child and dog. I love to see it. I love to see a wonderful child-dog, child-puppy relationship. I think it's great if a child grows up around a dog, but I also think it's a great moment to teach your child how to have respect for other people and other living, breathing creatures. Like, I think the whole point of having a child grow up around a dog is the child has compassion and empathy for living creatures, not so that it can taunt your dog and make it lose its patience, and then it ends in a tragedy, and then people are like, oh my god, who could have predicted this? It's a pattern of behavior. Oh, I'm so sorry, baby. I am so sorry. I got very excited there, yes, very heated. It's a pattern of behavior. It's something that just kept on happening and they kept on ignoring because it was easier to ignore it than to actually acknowledge it. And it's just a very dangerous mindset to have. It's like, your dog's going around attacking other people's dogs, and at no point did you think, one day someone's gonna get really pissed off that our dog is attacking other people's dogs, and they're gonna start like a lawsuit against us because our dog could possibly like kill a small dog or something. No, they just didn't think to fix this, no. Our child is taunting a dog that could potentially cause quite a lot of harm due to its size and muscles and all sorts of things, and they just decided to not fix their child's behaviour and wait for a tragedy to happen so they could then blame that tragedy on the dog that was not to blame at all. It just infuriates me. Like, this all could have been avoided and this dog could still be alive. The fact that we're making these videos, right, on this whole situation to bring awareness to how to not be an owner of a dog, but at the same time, this is not going to bring the dog back because the dog is not here anymore. Like, this is not something that can be avoided. This is something that has happened now and it can't be taken away. Like, they literally just did it, and then filmed a video going, well guys, if you're wondering where our dog is, it's not here anymore. Anyway, more stuff has come out. They both privated all of their social media accounts, and I understand why, because everyone's obviously very pissed off. All of us are. We're all very pissed off, and they're hearing all of that on the internet, rightfully so, because they should be criticised for this. It's disgusting. It's just so gross. As if they couldn't have rehomed their dog, as if they couldn't have gone to a trainer, found a house without kids, found someone who is quite clearly just more experienced with dogs than them, someone who's more reasonable, logical, has more brain cells. They couldn't do any of that. They had to just put the dog down. A fully healthy dog, no medical issues. They just decided to put the dog down instead of reaching out to an adoption center and saying, hey, could we have someone look after our dog, take ownership of our dog, someone who can take it to a trainer, possibly put more effort into raising this dog. No, put the dog down. They also spread a lot of lies saying if you give someone your dog, even if that dog bites, the liability's on you, which is completely false. You will sign a waiver if you're, as long as you're not just like handing the dog over. If you're doing like an official like handing over of the dog, you'll usually sign a waiver if it's done through like an adoption center saying, I don't want any more liability over this dog. Now whoever takes it has full liability over it. It would make no sense if the original owner was the one that had liability throughout the whole lifespan of the dog, because it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense unless you're like a full-time owner of this dog. It just doesn't make sense what they're saying. Anyway, so they said they couldn't rehome it because of this lie that they just made up on the spot pretty much. And they couldn't take it to a trainer for reasons unknown to me. They're YouTubers with clearly quite a lot of money. You can see their lifestyle. They clearly could afford a trainer or someone who's just like works with dogs on their behavior, stuff like that. No, they couldn't do that because that would just be too much effort. They also mentioned this funny little tidbit of information. They're saying that they're moving, and they mentioned this at the start of the video where they're like, we do understand that it might seem like we unalived our dog because we are moving and it would be an inconvenience to move him with us because like he hates to travel and he's a little bit older now, so we can't really like send him on the plane. So I know it seems like a little bit of a convenient situation for him to pass away now, right when we're about to move, but that's definitely not the reason why we unalived him. Why did you even mention that? Because now that makes me think that's exactly why you did this. Anyway, we'll swiftly move past that. Then we have these videos coming out. I think it was T-Spill that posted it on Twitter. They were taunting their bigger dog with their little dog. So I mentioned they had a Yorkie, and they would hold the Yorkie and make noises at the big dog and like push the dog in its face. Considering this dog already has trauma due to being bitten by a different dog, and this is unresolved trauma that was quite obvious considering he would attack other dogs in the park. You're now taunting him with a different dog that he has to live with and cohabit with and expect a tragedy to not happen. It's almost like they were asking for something to happen. I think they were asking for something bad to happen, and as much as he didn't bite the dog, like the small dog, he did bite their child. So like either way, they were just waiting for something to happen. Anyway, there is no like positive ending to this video. The dog's gone. Like there's nothing that can be done about that now. The video gave me really bad vibes. Their original video, you can go watch it and get really pissed off. I watched it like twice. They give me such bad vibes. She's like smiling at the start of the video and she realizes that her husband is not smiling. She like, this is so sad. But she's like smiling at the start of the video. And she mentions this like weird coincidence of them moving and it being an inconvenience of having a big dog. They can't, but that's not the reason why we got rid of it. Is it not the reason why you got rid of him? I don't know. Why would you mention it? All of that happened. I just think this should be a lesson. If you can't take care of a dog, don't get yourself a dog. Also, if you can't take care of a dog, don't unalive it. Possibly give it up for adoption. I don't know. I do understand that the adoption system is full of dogs that are waiting for a home, but like, I'd rather have one extra dog in the adoption system than have them be dead. I think that's a pretty reasonable thing to say. So yeah, just any lessons we can learn from this is just be a good human being. Not just to other humans, but also to dogs. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, anything you want to comment down below, and subscribe to post videos every time something happens. So hit that bell, be notified when that's happening. Social media links, any other links in description. I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.